Hey guys, it's Jarek the Gaming Dragon. I'm going to be showing you 3 different Trailblazer races in Dirt 3 in Kenya. And the first one's at night, and I love racing at night in Kenya because it has the full moon glaring on the environment around you and you can see where you're going. There's still visibility, but it's still at night. Something about that setting is appealing to the eyes. And that's something about Dirt 3 that they really emphasized this time around. And I mean, you could see them doing this with Dirt 2. I mean, when you were racing in Utah in Dirt 2, it felt like you were racing in Utah and the environments played a part. But in Dirt 3, they just went all out. The environmental changes, i.e. when you're racing in snow, it really feels like you're racing in snow. It's not just the track you're on, feels like it's sliding a little more. The whole environment changes around you. And when you're racing in Norway, it actually feels like you're racing in Norway. When you're racing in Kenya, it feels like you're racing in Kenya. I mean, the environment off the track plays just as much a part of the game as much as the actual track itself and what car you're using. So, like I said, Dirt 2, it felt like that too, but it feels like they really went into detail with it in Dirt 3, and that's something that I really commend Codemasters for doing. It's just, I don't know, it really enhances the experience when you actually feel like you're racing in that place you're supposed to be racing in, instead of just, oh hey look, another racetrack in another video game. So that's, again, I gotta commend Codemasters for doing that. It's pretty sweet. Anyway, coming up to the end of the first race here. So I got 1 minute 20 seconds and the next person behind me is 1 minute 25. I beat him by 5 total seconds. I'm playing the hardest difficulty, so that's quite a big lead over the guy behind me. Alright, so this next race here, same exact, well not the same race, but different race in Kenya, but this time we're in the middle of the day. And in the middle of the day, this is something that a lot of people don't notice or even think about. The way the track works is different at night than it is in the day, because it's going to be cooler and it's going to be a little bit different than the middle of the day when it's hotter, and it actually works that way in the game, which is pretty sweet. You'll slide a little bit more in the day than you will at night, so that's kind of cool. That even that little bit of change there would actually affect the game. And again, like I said, I gotta commend Codemasters for doing that. Anyway, I love Trailblazer races. I love them a lot just because it's a lot of speed. There's not so many hairpins. It's just basically work as much speed as possible, and generally it gets you the feeling of you're in control but you're out of control at the same time. When you're watching the playback, it doesn't look quite like you're out of control, but when you're actually racing, the whole time you gotta stay completely focused, because that 1 millisecond you lose focus, that's when you'll crash into something that's, you know, like a tiny rock on the side of the road, or you just look up and suddenly there's a hairpin right there in front of you. And I mean, that's true for most games, but especially in this mode here is where you really got to pay attention. Especially since in the Trailblazer mode, you don't have, forgetting the actual word, you don't have your co-pilot with you telling you, hey, you got a turn coming up here. You got to do it by eye and work off of just reaction. So I went 127. I beat this one by even less than a second. That was actually a pretty damn close race. Did that all these did on the first try. After a while, you get pretty used to it. And then the last one, this one, is I was all over the road on this race, but I still came in first place. This is what I'm talking about, and you're really able to see it when I say I was way out of control in this race. So again, this is in Kenya. I think it's the afternoon, the evening, and starts you out with the hairpin. I actually bumped that corner a little bit, but it didn't really affect me, so I just continued on. It's just kind of like I slid off of it, just kiss the wall a little bit, keep going, doesn't matter. As you can see, I'm already cutting it kind of close. Getting a little out of control, but that's how you can tell if someone's a good driver, is when they get out of control and then they recover very nicely. I always am more amused by when you're watching actual rallycross, or rally, I mean, when you're watching actual rally and someone makes an obvious mistake, and how they not overcorrect, but they correct it just perfectly and do it so well, it almost makes that mistake not even matter anymore. It's something that will amuse me more than someone just making a perfect run. And this, like when you're watching this doesn't look like I'm really all over the road, but as I was playing, I was really all over the road compared to what I usually would do. Like here, I was a little bit more off the course than what I would have liked, but you know, it didn't affect me too much there. Most of the mistakes I made were earlier in the race. And get a little bump to that guy, keep going, doesn't matter that much. Here, see him getting on 2 wheels, not what I wanted to do, but whatever, keep going. Fly through the air. I don't know why my car just turned sideways in the middle of the air. Sometimes that doesn't happen a whole lot. In fact, it happens very rarely, but every once in a while your car will just shift in the air. And it has something to do with the traction you got when you were going into the jump, but it just looks really goofy and can completely screw you up sometimes. But it very rarely happens. And the only thing about Dirt 3 I wish they would change is that I wish the roads would actually change with the tire prints instead of just having, you know, some texture they added behind the tires, to have it actually affect the road. So there would be like tire just trenches, you know, kind of like a motocross. And getting a little bit wild there. Good recovery, keep going. That's what I'm talking about. You make mistakes like that, not even a mistake, just a slight bump, and oh, gotta recover, and then you recover nicely. So there you go. 2 minutes 11 seconds, 2 seconds faster than the next person behind me. And first place on the event. So woo, thumbs up for first place. Anyway, there's some more Dirt 3, and I'll see all you guys next video.